Hello lovers, how are you all doing today? You're welcome to this episode of Finding Love, where I share with you useful insights and guide you on the journey to finding love. Now the name Finding Love. I must always talk about it. Growing up at some stage in my life, finding love became my major focus, and it made me expose myself to lots of books, advice, experiences, dates, and of course the Bible, where I learned so much, and I'm so delighted to share with you through this show. Now, today's topic is about courting and dating. Okay, so before I go into the topic, I find it necessary to tell you a bit about myself. I am Grace Renner. I am happily married with a baby boy. I met my husband on the 6th of February, 2016. And he proposed to me a couple of weeks after, on his birthday, on the 16th of March 2016. We got married on the 6th of May 2017. So yes. Now, before I met my husband, I went on several dates. I dated a couple of guys, courted a couple, and it was quite an experience. I learned so much, and in all, looking back now, I can say some were quite unnecessary, some relationships were quite unnecessary, and then some shaped my journey, helped me to find myself, and I learned so much. And that's the most important thing, the lessons I learned, which I am so delighted to share with you today. Now, in the course of today's topic, I might share some personal experiences and stories that I experienced when I was dating or when I was courting. So do stick around. So for today, I'll be talking about the importance of dating and courting. Now, these two words, dating and courting, have been mixed up. It sometimes gets confusing. But guess what? I'm here to arrange it. Some people don't understand it. It has scattered. That's the right thing to use. But I'm the arranger. I'm here now. I'm going to arrange it. So let me start by defining what, in my own understanding, what dating means, courting, and then maybe going on dates. Now, dating is when a man or a woman initiates a more than friends relationship with someone. So it doesn't necessarily have marriage as its end goal, even though sometimes dating ends up in courting and then marriage. But it's more like a modern term that people use when they want to befriend each other. They want something more romantic or more intimate without marriage as its end goal. Okay. Now, courting always has marriage directly as its end goal. So when you say that you're courting a woman, it means that you've actually proposed to her, or you have gone to her parents or guardians or her pastor or whoever she looks up to say, oh, I'm interested in this person, and then you guys are both aware that you guys are looking at marriage as the end goal. So there's some level of closeness where you guys are getting to know each other. Okay, so the word there is courting always has marriage as its end goal. And then let's also talk about going on dates. Now, going on dates is when, of course, you ask a lady or a guy out for drinks, movies, or whatever, to create an opportunity to have a one-on-one meeting where you guys can get to know each other better, or even see if you guys actually connect or are attracted to each other. Okay, so that is dating. So please, let's not mix it up. Dating is a lot of times has nothing to do with marriage as its end goal, even though sometimes it leads to marriage. Courting always has marriage as its end goal. So there's an understanding. Either the man has proposed to the woman, or he has seen her family, and there's an understanding. And then going on dates is when, there's still no strings attached yet. You guys have just met, or maybe you've been introduced by somebody, and you want to give yourselves the opportunity to meet one-on-one, to have drinks or go to the movies or whatever, but meet one-on-one, get to know each other better, and then see if you guys are attracted to each other, and see if you guys can take it some other level, or give yourselves a chance to go on another date. Okay. Some people kick against dating now because of the temptation for sex and because of a lack of direction. Yeah, but I always have an answer to this. If you come to me and say you want to date somebody, these are the answers I would give you. Number one, do not make sex your reason for dating somebody. Do not make it your ultimate goal. Do not make it even, don't put it on the agenda of your relationship. Dating is for you guys to get to know each other, and guess what? Sex actually blinds your eyes. Okay, so, and it trust me, you do not want to do anything with your body that is not worthy. Okay, let me talk about the scripture in 1 Corinthians 6:18 says, flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committed fornication sinneth against his own body. Okay, so dating is a period of time when you guys should spend, quality time, see if you guys are compatible. It has nothing to do with sex. Sex doesn't show you how compatible you are with somebody. Okay, I mean, for want of a better word, some people would argue with me that, oh, you need to know if the person is good in bed and all those stuff, but trust me, that has nothing to do with dating. Okay, and then the number two thing I'll tell you, if you come to me for advice on dating, if you should go ahead with dating somebody, I would say to you, this person asking you out, does he or she look like he or she can end up as your wife or your husband? I'm talking about your criteria in terms of your, in fact, let marriage be your criteria for accepting to date somebody or to ask somebody out. So the first thing you should do is look at the person. Can you spend the rest of your life with this person? Before you go and ask the person out, it's not that you now go and then you're dating somebody without any that this person, you can't marry this person, you're just dating the person. What are you dating the person for? Okay, so it doesn't have to be like every other relationship. I mean, thank God I'm saying this now. Thank God you're listening to me. Before you go and ask a lady out, your criteria for asking her out, just, you're not ready for marriage or courting, you just want to date her. Make sure that she is somebody that you can actually get married to, if in the long run you're ready for marriage, because you don't want to waste anybody's time. You don't want to now, when it's time for marriage, you now say, okay, you know what, I want to break up and now look for someone that I can get married to. The same thing with you as a lady. If a guy is asking you out, check and see if it's somebody that you can actually spend the rest of your life with, in case he decides he wants to pop the question sometime in future. That's not why you now say, let me go and think about it and be sure that this is the kind of person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. Okay, so in my opinion, there's nothing wrong in dating as long as you have a direction, and as long as sex is not your ultimate goal and you don't even put it in your agenda following biblical standards. Okay, now, why is dating important? Number one, for companionship. Dating helps you develop good friendship. Okay, in one of our episodes of on Finding Love, I talked about what companionship means, being able to connect genuinely with somebody, and that is what dating is about. That is the biggest reason why people date, for connection, for interaction, to be able to understand how you guys interact, what your chemistry is like. Just take sex or romance out of the picture and take your time to know each other, to build friendship. Okay, now research has shown that couples who laugh together stay together compared to those who don't. Now, before you can even actually get to laugh around somebody, it means that you get comfortable, you take away pretense, hypocrisy, or fakery. You just take all those things away and connect with this person. Like I said, sex blinds the eyes. Sex doesn't help you connect genuinely with somebody. Okay, so take that out of the picture and just interact, engage in healthy activities together, and do things together that will help to build your connection. That friendship is very important. Even in marriage, a lot of problems that people have in marriages is because there's no friendship. They didn't take time to build the friendship before they got married. Okay, and that is one thing that dating does for you. So focus on the friendship, focus on the connection, rather than anything sex or romance, because it will steal from your genuine connection or your goal to build friendship. So number one reason to date is for companionship, to develop a healthy friendship with the opposite sex. Number two, dating helps you learn good and healthy communication. Now, it helps you learn how to resolve issues without having to argue or abuse each other, how to respectfully argue and somewhat agree or disagree on your point of view. Now, when I talked about companionship some weeks ago, I talked about genuinely connecting with somebody. A lot of us just want to impose our opinions or our thoughts on other people without listening to them. But if you really want to have a healthy relationship, I mean, that's what dating is about, really. Learn to be open to other people's opinions, other people's perspective of, like, you guys are coming from different ends of life. So in dating, make sure that you're open. It will help with communication. A lot of couples that fight all the time, if you check, it, it's because someone probably has control issues and they want to impose their own opinions or how life, or they think life should be on their partner. Okay, so dating actually helps you, learn good communication, argue respectfully, listen to the other person. It even teaches you some level of emotional maturity, knowing how to react, when to react, the right words to say, not to hurt the other person's feelings. Of course, it will take time to get there, but that should be, one of your goals or one of conscious efforts, that you put into the relationship or to put into making the relationship work. Now, in order to avoid the pitfalls of arguments and quarreling and all that stuff that happen in relationships, it's important to learn to compromise. I mean, make sacrifices, meet someone at the middle. Listen to other people's points of view so that you guys can tackle the real issue at hand and move on without any form of resentment or unhealthy arguments or disrespectful interaction or arguments. So it's important that your goal in a relationship is to make it work by avoiding unhealthy arguments. Number 3, dating prepares you for marriage. Okay, dating gives you an opportunity to discern if your futures align or if marriage will be best or good for you and your partner or whoever you're dating. Okay, because in your bid to knowing each other during your dating period, you guys ask each other questions, you have conversations that end up being very important for your future or your marriage. Questions like your location, where she would like to spend the rest of her life, if she's okay with the states or the country she's at, or if she intends to relocate sometime in future, or even family, if she considers herself a wife or would like to have children someday, even how many children she'd like to have, how she'd like to raise them. You guys would even talk about things like career, money, finances, what she's earning, what he's earning. Some people don't talk about that when they're dating, but some people do. It depends on how comfortable you guys get around each other, But then you talk about your career, what she's doing for a living, what he's doing for a living, if they intend to do that for the rest of their lives, or if they see themselves pivoting, to something else, things like that. You guys talk about, talk about family, talk about location, you just talk about things generally, and before and at the end of the day, these things are important in your marriage. Okay, so dating gives you the opportunity to interact on a deep level, to discuss things that are important, in your marriage. Okay, so in a way, it prepares you for marriage. Number 4, dating gives you an opportunity, to meet your partner's friends and families. Okay, and that also gives you an opportunity to know the kind of person you are dating. Okay, like there's a saying that goes, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Okay, so it will give you an opportunity to know what this person is like around other people, know even the kind of people that you're letting into your life. Know so much about your partner by his family, by his friends, and the kinds of people that he interacts with. So that's what dating does for you. I mean, when you're dating somebody, from time to time, they come to your house, you go to their house, so it just helps you know the kind of person that you're dating, who the person really is, how they treat other people, how they're around other people. Number 5, dating gives you the opportunity to give love and time to somebody else other than yourself. Now, like I always say, finding love for me was at some point about me being able to give love and my time to somebody else. Okay, it was out of that I started my journey of finding love. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So dating helps you, show love to somebody, make someone else feel special, give your time to somebody else other than yourself. Now, a lot of marriages these days fail because of, people get so swamped in their careers, they don't give time to their family because they have gotten so used to everything being about themselves, themselves, themselves. They're kind of self-centered. They don't know how to what's the word now, balance things. Okay, and then it ends up making the partner feel, like there's no attention being paid to them. But guess what? Dating helps you learn balance. Because of course, when you're dating someone, the person is telling you, "Oh, you don't have time for me," or you don't give me, we don't spend quality time. If you want that relationship to work, you listen to that person and begin to make adjustments. Okay, so all in all, dating helps you give love and your time to somebody else other than yourself. Number 6, dating helps you know yourself and what is right for you. Okay, so talking about knowing yourself, when you're dating somebody, the feedbacks that you get sometimes from the person, you believe this person loves you and the person would not lie to you about yourself. So when they tell you things, those things that you hear about yourself, things that you probably didn't know before, it helps you to begin to make adjustments or maybe to keep them up. Okay, it helps okay, for me, while I was dating, helped me know my love language. Okay, I realized that I love quality time. Of course, I love other things like affirmation, words of affirmation, and this is that quality time was really my thing. So it helped me discover myself. It also helped me discover the kind of heart that I have. Okay, of course, your partner will tell you, "Oh, you have a good heart," or "Your heart is this and that." But for me, I knew that I have a good heart. So that was what dating helped me discover, and so many other things. But if you're a person who has been in relationships, you'll be able to relate to what I'm saying. Dating helps you discover yourself, helps you know more about yourself that you probably didn't know before. Okay. Also, I also talked about knowing what is right for you. Now, I'll give an example. I think my first relationship, I was dating a guy, and somehow I just knew it was not right for me. Because it was my first relationship, my first experience, but I knew that this was not a relationship that was right for me. Okay, let me say why. I was dating this guy, and I noticed he was not an honest person, even with me. Maybe we're in the car together, and he receives a call. He would tell lies on the phone, things like that, or maybe with his business. He was not an honest person, and I didn't want to be with someone that wasn't honest, because of course it would create some kind of trust issues. If I'm with you, I can't trust you. I cannot trust you, and if you say you're here, you are not actually there in my mind, even if you're there. So it was just wrong. And then also, I also noticed that he was too busy. He was too swamped with work. It was almost selfish. It was almost about him, his work, and then something else. Almost like he didn't have regard for the relationship. He would, sometimes just switch off his phone for days, and he wouldn't even communicate to me prior to doing that, "Oh, I want to go off my phone for a while. I don't want to communicate with anybody." He would just turn off his phone. And for me, I just felt this was a pure lack of regard for the relationship, and I knew that this was not right for me. So it just helped me in my subsequent relationships. I knew what to look out for. I knew that, okay, I'd gone through this kind of thing before, and this was what I saw. So anytime I see something like that coming up again, it was more like a red flag for me. Okay, so that's what dating does. It even helps you in marriage. Some things that you see, you already know, okay, this is what I want, this is right for me, and you know that, okay, if I'm settling with this person as a partner, this person is probably the opposite of what I've gone through. I'm sure that if you have dated before marriage, you understand what I'm saying. So if it's your first experience at dating, if you're looking to just date, one of the things I need to do for you is that to help you know more about yourself and things that discover yourself and know what is right for you. Okay. Number 7, dating could lead to courting. Okay, so we already talked about what courting is. Courting is like a relationship that has a definite definition as marriage. Say marriage is your end goal. Okay, so sometimes because Some people do not have the courage to just meet a girl and just believe that, okay, this is the person that they will get married to. They believe that, there should be a stage where you guys date, have time to know each other before you move to proposing and all that. While some people have the courage to just see a lady and discern that, okay, this is my wife, and they propose. So of course, for people that do not know how to just discern that this is my wife, when they see a lady that fits their criteria, of course they want to date her a bit and know if she's the person that they can actually spend the rest of their lives with. And then they now advance to proposing, and then from proposing they can now take it to marriage. Okay, so dating gives you an opportunity to actually take it to the next level of courtship, and then from courtship to marriage. All right, I hope you have learned something about dating. Okay, so on our next episode of Finding Love, we'll talk about courting. Okay, I might share some of my personal stories, like I said. Okay, so don't go anywhere. Anticipate. Okay, once again, I am Grace Renner. See you next time.